Okay, welcome everyone to the latest edition of Foodie Squared. Each week we take 4 food topics and give you its history and evolution. This week we have an exciting show. We have sandwiches. Let's start with sandwiches. Okay. All right. Now I want everyone to know that this show is sponsored by the Dining on a Dime podcast, available on all podcast platforms. It is also brought to you by PhillyRestaurantReviews.com. All right, the sandwich was first promoted as an elaborate meal at dinner. So they used to serve sandwiches as an entire meal, as if you were having a pot roast with vegetables. And then it became a quick grab-and-go meal. There were sandwich carts and sandwich shops all over London as early as the year 1850. So the sandwich has been around a long time. It was named after John Montague, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. He enjoyed eating the meat on bread so he could continue playing cards while eating. So let me give my own words to that. This guy was loved cards. He was addicted to playing cricket. So what he would do was he would have the meat and told his staff to put it on bread so that he didn't have to leave the card table. So this way he could continue playing his cards while eating. That's how addicted to cards he was. So that was the sandwich. That's the history sandwich. Sandwiches, like I said, were first popular in London, England in 1850. So if you're eating a sandwich today, and just think about that, it's been around since 1850. Let's talk about the candy bar. Everyone loves a candy bar. I'm sure every one of you has eaten a candy bar at least once over the last month, unless you don't like chocolate or whatever. But let's talk about the candy bar. The candy bar was first sold. A chocolate candy bar was first sold in Fry's of Bristol, England in 1847. Now think about that. You eat chocolate bars, or most of you know people that eat chocolate bars. That has been around since 1847. It was a place called Fry's, and it was located in Bristol, England. Fry's has also had a chocolate cream, and the chocolate cream candy bar was the first mass-produced chocolate bar in 1866. Chocolate bars are solid bars of chocolate, and the word candy bar is any chocolate bar that has extra ingredients. So here's what I want to get across to you. Chocolate bars first started in 1847, but they first started becoming mass-produced in 1866, which I found fascinating. So you eat a chocolate bar every day, but I'm sure, or most of you eat them, and I'm sure that you guys didn't know that it was, that started in 1847. So everyone sees people eating chocolate bars or eats chocolate bars, and they've been around since 1847. Let's talk about pizza. I know a lot of friends, my Italian buddies, love pizza. I love pizza. Everybody loves pizza. But I know a couple guys that are really, really hardcore pizza guys. So pizza actually did originate in Italy. In Italy, pizza that is served in a formal setting, meaning like you go to a nice restaurant and you get pizza, is not sliced. In Italy, if you're at a decent restaurant and you order pizza, they bring it out whole, and you actually eat it with a fork and knife. So I found that interesting. Modern day pizza was invented in Naples, Italy. Here's the thing. Foods that were similar to modern day pizza, such as flatbreads, have been around for hundreds of years. Now, I found that fascinating because, that's a few hundred years that flatbreads have been around. Modern day pizza was derived from those flatbreads and began in the 18th or early 19th centuries. But flatbread is what people were eating before that. Obviously, Italian immigrants brought pizza to America around the 19th century, and Lombardi's is credited as the first American pizzeria. It was opened in 1905, and following World War II, the military that was stationed in Italy actually came home and they were looking for pizza. So that's when pizza really started its big boom. Once again, the Dining on a Dime podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Any place you get your favorite podcast, you can see the Dining on a Dime podcast. And I want everyone to know that this show is sponsored by my favorite website, PhillyRestaurantReviews.com. If you have people coming in from out of the state of Pennsylvania, tell them to go there. There's an audio food tour that they can take, and that audio food tour will take them through the best restaurants in Philadelphia. We talk about all types of cuisine. One of the cuisines that we stress, and we have 3 shows about it, is cheesesteaks. Let me tell you, some of these things have 25 different stories behind their creation. Here is one of those stories. The cheesesteak has several different stories behind its creation. I'm going to give you one. The cheesesteak, I know for a fact, was created by Pat and Harry Oliveri in the early 1930s. Lots of stories about how, though. I'm going to give you the one that I researched that I found the most interesting. Harry owned a hot dog stand and decided to do a new sandwich, which was chopped beef and onions. Okay, no cheese. Chopped beef and onions. So he's making this. He wanted to, add something new to the hot dog cart. So he started making a sandwich, chopped beef and onions. Then a cab driver ordered one and came back and bragged about it so much, how much he loved it, that he suggested that they get rid of the hot dogs and sell the grilled steak sandwich. As that sandwich became more popular and he kept getting that great feedback, they decided to add it to the hot dog cart. Okay, that hot dog cart was near the Italian market, which I found interesting. He added it. It became a huge success, and cheesesteaks are sold all around Philadelphia today. Philadelphia is now known for the cheesesteak, but how did the cheese get on the cheesesteak? Here's one of many stories. There was a guy who was the manager in the Roxborough Ridge Avenue location. His name was Cocky Joe Lorenza. And he started making the steak sandwich with the chopped steak and onions. And he decided one day, he said, let's try some cheese on this. Let's try provolone. He put provolone on the chopped steak and onions. It tasted very good, so he decided to start selling that. So that is how the actual cheese came into the cheesesteak. Cocky Joe. So you all can credit Cocky Joe if you are eating your favorite cheesesteak. Make sure you give credit to Cocky Joe Lorenza. All right, everyone, that was it. Cheesesteaks, keep in mind, a lot of these have several stories behind them, because it was created so long ago. The cheesesteak story is one of many. So the stories are debatable, but that is one of many stories behind the cheesesteak. Outside of Philadelphia, they are called Philly cheesesteaks. I'm looking to do screen art. I know you're looking. I want to give Jim Cornette credit for our photo today. I'm trying to come up with a Dining on a Dime logo that we can watch, but what happened was the Dining on a Dime logo keeps popping off the screen. So I'm trying to get us a Dining on a Dime logo for every every show we do, so that you'll see the Dining on the Dime logo as we do our show. I want to credit Jim Cornette, Jim Cornette's drive-through, and that is the photo you're looking at today. That is available on YouTube. All right, everyone. Once again, if you have friends or family visiting Philadelphia, tell them to go to PhillyRestaurantReviews.com. We did 3 shows about the cheesesteak. Where can you find the best cheesesteak in Philadelphia? We have 3 one-hour shows about that topic. They can be found in the audio food tour. $5. We'll give you 5 audio food tours. That means you're only paying $1 for each food tour. So if you come to Philadelphia, you're going to find out that the average food tour is $40. So if you buy our food tour for $5, a family of 5 can play it on each phone, or friends of 5, and the food tour only becomes $1. So let's do a recap of today. Earl Sandwich, addicted to playing cards, and he wanted to eat while he was still playing. So that is why he put bread in between on the outsides of the meat, and that is how the sandwich was created. Candy bars, you probably didn't know as you're eating your favorite candy bar that's been around since 1847. I think that's pretty important. Philadelphia is our home. Our home is for cheesesteaks. Cheesesteaks is what Philadelphia is known for. I just gave you one of the many stories behind the creation of cheesesteak. There are several. I know people are going to email me. There are several. I just picked one, the best one that I liked. So that will be a recap of the show. Join us every Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to give you the history of your favorite 4 food items. I encourage you to go to find the Dining on a Dime podcast on your favorite, on your favorite listening device or podcast platform. You will see our show. Our show gives you cooking tips. We give you how to save money on your monthly budgets. And, we also give foodie news. So look out for us. Every week we'll give you the Foodie Squared is the name of the show, and we will give you 4 food topics, tell you their history, and we'll discuss. I'll pick the best food story behind the history, because I know there's a lot of varying stories behind how food was how certain food items were created. So I'm going to pick the best one. So I know you don't have to email me. I know there are several stories behind each food item. I picked the best one. Also today, pizza. That was interesting. Pizza was made in Naples, Italy. But for hundreds of years, pizza was already around as a flatbread. So since ancient times, they've always made some sort of pizza using a flatbread. And pizza is popular today because in World War II, the guys stationed in Italy came back craving pizza, and that's when it really took off. So it took off after World War II, when the guys that were stationed in Italy would come back to America, and they would go to the Italian immigrant locations and look for pizza. So that is why one of the reasons why pizza is such a mainstream food today. So I want to thank you for joining us. Once again, Jim Cornette, credit for the drive-thru. He's on YouTube. Next week, we'll have an all Dining on a Dime logo for you guys to look at. And that's it. Join us every week. Foodie Squared. Go to YouTube and subscribe. Look for Food and Beverage Information Station and just click the subscribe button. Thank you.